The nut here needs to go into the hexagon. And a little tip that I use is to just thread the bolt on slightly onto the nut, so that allows you to push it in firmly. And we have this little plastic stopper here which fits on the inside of the grass collector, and it goes in this hole here, just like that. And what that does is hold the rear deflector in a slight raised position, and that enhances the performance when we're blowing the grass straight back onto the ground. The next part of the assembly process is to raise the lower handle up to here, and using the shorter bolts we thread those from the inside out and fix on one of these wing nuts, making sure we do it up tightly. Now we're going to fit the upper handle, first of all making sure that the cables are free and are travelling above the handle so they won't get tangled up. We need one of the longer handle bolts which goes through the square in this handle here and threads through like that. Then need a washer and a wing nut. Make sure we screw those up tightly. Last piece of the assembly is this cable tidy here. So making sure the cables are running neatly down the top of the handle, we simply clip that in place to keep the cables all nice and neat. The final piece of the handle assembly is to take the engine recoil rope and thread it through the guide on the upper handle. To do that, we first of all need to pull in the OPC lever, operator presence control. That's released the brake on the engine, and that will allow me to bring the recoil rope up here, so I can now thread it into the guide like this. I now need to tighten up the 10mm nut on the other side. We need to complete the final assembly for the grass collector. All we've got to do is put these plastic guides here on the metal frame around the edge. Next we do the bottom one, which same procedure, hook it over the rail along the bottom and clip it on. And finally, same for the one on this side. So there we have the assembled grass collector. The Mountfield SP53H is what we call a 3-in-1 machine. So first of all, with the deflector down like this, it will rear discharge the grass back onto the floor. If we lift up the discharge chute and install the mulching plug, which simply clicks into the back of the machine like that, put the deflector down, now the mower will mulch the grass and return all the clippings straight back onto the grass. And finally, we can remove that. We just squeeze the back of the mulching plug like that and take it out, and we can use the collector. The grass collector hooks onto these two lugs here, so simply hooks on like that. The Mountfield SP53H features a single point height of cut adjuster. So by moving one lever, it adjusts all four wheels on the lawnmower. So that couldn't be simpler. The Mountfield SP53H is fitted with a Honda GCV 160cc 4-stroke engine. So that means that the oil for the engine is contained in the engine sump, and we access that through the dipstick here. So to undo the dipstick and remove it, and we can see it's got the hatched end at the bottom to check that the oil is at the correct level. We recommend Mountfield Universal Lawnmower engine oil to go in the Honda 4-stroke engine, and that oil goes in here through this dipstick. So we take that out. On the end of the dipstick we can see the hatched area, so we can see how much oil we need to put in. This engine takes half a litre of oil. As this is a 4-stroke engine, it runs on neat unleaded fuel, which goes in the fuel tank here. We recommend the use of fuel stabiliser with all 4-stroke lawnmower engines. This is a 100ml bottle, which is the correct measure to go in 5 litres of petrol. So simply take the cap off the bottle and pour all of the contents into 5 litres of fresh unleaded fuel. Shake the contents to make sure the stabiliser's fully mixed. This fuel stabiliser keeps the petrol fresh for the entire season, and this aids easy starting of your lawnmower. And be careful not to overfill the tank. The Honda engine features a fuel tap, which is this grey lever just here. When it's in line with the pipe, horizontal like that, the fuel is turned on. When we turn it to there, that turns the fuel off. And a good tip on the Honda engine, if you're going to be leaving the engine for more than say 3 weeks to a month without running it, a good tip is to turn the fuel off and start and run the engine until it stops. And that will have taken all of the fuel out of the carburetor system, so that when you come to start the lawnmower again, you simply turn the fuel on. You'll need to wait for about 15 to 20 seconds for the fuel to go through and fill the bowl of the carburetor, but that will also save ever having any stale fuel in the bowl of the carburetor and keep your engine starting perfectly. The Honda GCV engine features an automatic choke and a fixed governed throttle speed on it, so all we need to do to start the mower is simply pull the OPC lever, operator presence control, up to the handle and hold it. That's released the engine brake, which will now allow us to get hold of the recoil rope firmly in your hand, pull it to engage the engine, and then with a long, firm, smooth pull, that will start your engine. Then you're ready to mow. Service Link is Mountfield's own service centre, and there is a helpline number here. If you have any difficulties with your machine, give the call centre a call. They will either resolve it over the phone or refer you to one of our over 600 Service Link dealers throughout the UK and Ireland.